All right, diving right in. Today we're looking at cryptocurrencies, specifically coins that could be worth watching in 2025.
Sounds exciting.
It is. We're going off of this TechPoint Africa article. It's
Okay.
called Best Crypto to Invest in 2025.
Catchy.
Right. And it has a subtitle, Top 10 Cryptocurrency Coins to Invest for the Bull Run.
For the bull run, huh?
Yeah, it was published on December 6th, 2024, so pretty recent.
Pretty much so.
And get this, the article specifically calls out crypto whales and buyers.
Oh, interesting. So like the big players.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like everyone is trying to predict this next bull run.
It certainly does seem that way. And while, of course, we can't offer any financial advice,
Of course, of course.
just understanding what these big players are thinking,
Right,
it can give you really valuable insights into like where the market might be headed.
absolutely. Okay, so the article kicks off with a top 10 list of these cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
In order, they are Jetbolt, that's J-Bolt,
Got it.
Hedera, HBAR, Chainlink, that's LANK, Bitansor, TAO, SUI, also SUI,
Okay.
Arbitrum, ARB.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Aave, AAVE, Ondo, Cardano, ADA, and lastly, Solana, SOL.
All right. So it's a real mix. You got some like established players in there
Right.
and some more exciting newcomers.
Yeah, definitely a mix. But you'll notice the article really highlights this one, Jetbolt.
Okay.
They're calling it the new kid in town that's generating a lot of buzz.
New kid in town. Okay.
Yeah.
What's so special about this one?
Well, they're emphasizing a few things. First, it's zero gas technology.
Zero gas. Interesting.
Yeah. And then also these like lightning fast transactions.
Okay. Fast is always good.
Right. And then, get this, they use AI.
Oh, wow. AI is everywhere these days.
It really is. And it's for this Web3 content aggregation feature.
Content aggregation. So what, like pulling in information from all over the place?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine having like an AI that curates all this blockchain news developments,
Okay.
but based on like actual market sentiment. It's pretty cool.
That's a pretty powerful tool, potentially.
Right. It sounds almost too good to be true. Zero gas fees, instant transactions, AI insights.
Right. Sign me up.
Exactly. But seriously, let's break this down a little bit. What does this zero gas technology, what does that even mean for the future of like blockchain as a whole? Could this be a real game changer?
It very well could be. Like, think about it. Transaction fees.
Yeah,
Those are one of the biggest barriers for most people when it comes to crypto.
right.
If they can actually implement this, this zero gas model and scale it,
Right.
that could really like disrupt the entire existing blockchain ecosystem.
That's a big deal.
It is. It could make crypto transactions like as seamless as sending an email.
Wow.
And, as inexpensive as that too. That opens up so many possibilities.
That does. And then the article also mentions this thing called proof of attendance and worth protocol.
Proof of attendance and worth. What is that?
Yeah, so you can earn rewards just for like connecting with friends on their platform.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. So there's like a social aspect to this too.
Yeah, exactly. They're really trying to tap into that, almost like a Web3 social network, you know?
Right. Right. And that makes sense. We see a lot of that these days, like social tokens, community-driven platforms, all that within the crypto space.
Yeah.
The idea is to really incentivize engagement, build a loyal user base,
Right.
and that can be really powerful, especially in a market that's like constantly changing and evolving.
Totally. And their pre-sale was really successful too. Over 100 million tokens sold.
Wow. Okay. So there's definitely some strong early interest.
Yeah, for sure. But let's not get too caught up in the Jetbolt hype just yet.
Right.
We have 9 other coins on this list to explore.
Okay. Yeah. What are some of the other ones that stood out to you?
Well, I thought Hedera was really interesting.
Okay. What's special about Hedera?
Their focus on energy efficiency is really big.
Oh, okay.
They use something called a hash graph consensus algorithm.
Hash graph. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different approach than what a lot of other blockchains use, like the proof of work model.
Right. Right.
And it's much more energy efficient.
Okay. And why is that such a big deal?
Well, there are a lot of concerns about the environmental impact of like crypto mining and all that.
Right. Yeah. It uses a lot of energy.
Exactly. So Hedera is kind of like this eco-friendly option.
Interesting. But I mean, does that really matter that much to like, the average investor?
Well, that's a good question. Profit's obviously important,
Yeah.
but more and more investors are thinking about ESG considerations,
ESG, like the environmental and social governance.
Exactly. It's about choosing projects that align with your values.
Okay.
And as more people realize how much energy some of these cryptocurrencies use, platforms like Hedera, they could become even more attractive.
That's a really good point.
Right. So it's not just about being green.
Right.
It's about potentially tapping into this whole new segment of investors who really prioritize that sustainability.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we have Jetbolt, we have Hedera. What's next?
Let's talk Chainlink.
Okay, Chainlink. I've heard of that one.
The article really focuses on how they connect these smart contracts to real-world data.
Oh, interesting. Okay, break that down for me a little bit.
So basically, Chainlink acts like this bridge between the blockchain and the actual physical world.
Okay.
So it's like a way to feed real-world data into those smart contracts, but securely and reliably.
Okay, so can you give me an example? Like, how would that actually work?
Sure, imagine a farmer who wants to buy insurance for their crops through a smart contract.
Okay, yeah.
And that contract could automatically pay out if certain weather conditions are met.
Interesting.
Like, let's say, too much rain or a drought.
Right.
But for that to work, the contract needs accurate data.
Makes sense.
And that's where Chainlink comes in. They provide that weather data, but it's from trusted sources.
Oh, okay.
So it's all about ensuring that the contract, actually executes correctly based on what's happening in the real world.
I get it, yeah. So they're like the validators of real-world information.
Exactly, yeah. They're kind of solving a crucial problem for smart contracts in general.
Right, because smart contracts, they can do all these things.
Right.
But if they don't have accurate information, then what's the point?
Exactly, and that's why their token, LINK, it's seen some significant growth recently.
Really?
Yeah, the article mentions a 33.1% price increase.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just in the last 7 days.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And a lot of experienced crypto investors, they really like it because it's been so consistent.
Okay, yeah, consistency can be hard to come by in the crypto world.
Right. So as more industries start adopting these blockchain solutions,
Yeah.
this demand for those reliable data oracles like Chainlink, it's probably just going to keep increasing.
Makes sense. Okay, so we have Jetbolt, the new kid on the block, Hedera, eco-friendly, Chainlink, bringing in the real-world data. What else? What else is on our list to dig into?
Well, let's take a look at SUI.
SUI.
They have this unique horizontal scaling feature.
Horizontal scaling, what is that?
So it basically means the network can handle more transactions as it grows,
Okay.
but without sacrificing speed or efficiency.
Oh, okay.
And scalability is a major hurdle for a lot of blockchains.
Yeah, for sure.
So SUI's approach could be a game changer.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So, like, how does that actually benefit, me as a potential user?
Okay, imagine a blockchain that can handle millions of users.
Okay.
But it doesn't slow down.
Right.
And it doesn't get crazy expensive. That's the potential here.
Wow, that's huge if they can pull that off.
Right. It's like a highway that can add extra lanes as traffic increases.
Right. No more of those blockchain traffic jams.
Exactly. And that could be a major selling point for developers and users, especially as the crypto space keeps growing and growing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we have our contenders. Jetbolt, Hedera, Chainlink, and SUI. All very interesting.
Yeah, and they all have their own strengths. But the article's whole focus is on picking the best crypto to invest in, specifically for 2025.
Right, with big focus on the next bull run.
Exactly. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think they're being realistic?
I mean, it's tough to say.
Yeah.
Trying to predict the future of crypto is notoriously difficult.
For sure.
But there are some indicators that we can look at.
Okay.
To get a sense of what might be coming.
Okay, what kind of indicators?
For example, institutional adoption.
Okay, yeah, the big institutions getting involved.
Exactly. So when you see major companies, even governments, starting to embrace blockchain technology
Right.
and invest in these cryptocurrencies,
Yeah.
that can have a huge impact on the market.
So it's like getting a stamp of approval from those big players.
Kind of, yeah.
Awesome.
It can definitely give smaller investors more confidence.
Right. But isn't institutional investment sometimes seen as a negative thing?
It can be, yeah. There's a lot of debate about it within the crypto community.
Okay.
Some people think that it could lead to more centralization and control.
Right.
Which kind of goes against the whole idea of decentralization.
Yeah, which is the core principle of crypto.
Right, exactly. But other people think that it's inevitable and that it can actually help legitimize the whole crypto space,
Okay, interesting.
bringing in more expertise, resources. So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
It sounds like it. It's a complex issue for sure.
It really is. And
Yeah.
it comes down to, what do you believe in? What are your values?
Right. So you have to weigh those potential benefits against the potential risks
Absolutely.
and then decide what aligns best with like your own personal investment philosophy.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have institutional adoption.
Yeah.
Are there other signs that you look at besides that to gauge the likelihood of, this bull run happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Regulatory developments are another big one.
Okay, so like what governments are doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
when you have clear and favorable regulations, that can create a much more stable environment for crypto,
Right. That makes sense.
and that can attract more investors, drive growth.
Right. But I mean, governments are still kind of figuring out how to approach crypto, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a bit of a Wild West out there still.
Yeah.
But as more countries start to establish, clear regulatory frameworks,
Okay.
that could really lead to more mainstream adoption
Right.
and potentially fuel that next bull run.
Okay, so institutional adoption, positive regulations, got it. What else should we be keeping an eye on?
Well, technological advancements are always key. Things like layer 2 scaling solutions,
Okay.
interoperability protocols. All of these things are constantly being developed and improved,
Right.
and they're really making blockchain technology more functional, more usable.
So for me, that means,
For you, it could mean faster transactions, lower fees, just a more seamless user experience overall.
it's pretty amazing how much the technology is evolving.
It really is, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that makes this space so exciting.
Yeah, for sure. But you said earlier, the crypto market, it's pretty unpredictable.
Very much so.
So are there any risks out there that could like derail a potential bull run?
Well, we already talked about regulatory uncertainty,
Right.
but macroeconomic factors play a role too.
Okay, like what?
Things like inflation, interest rates, any kind of global economic instability.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
All of those things can impact investor sentiment
Right.
and affect the crypto market.
So it's not just about crypto itself.
Exactly. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. You have to look at what's happening in the wider world too.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, so regulatory uncertainty, the wider economy. What other potential roadblocks are there?
Well, there's always the risk of another crypto winter.
Uh-oh.
It's like a prolonged period of price decline.
Oh, okay.
So even though right now things might be looking up, there are signs pointing toward a bull run,
Right.
it's important to remember that the market is cyclical.
Okay.
Corrections are inevitable. It's just part of the game.
That's a little sobering.
It is,
Mhm.
but it's important to be realistic. You got to stay grounded.
Right.
Remember, there are always risks involved in any investment.
Yeah, especially in a market as volatile as crypto.
Exactly.
And this article, it's interesting. It lists these 10 cryptos that are good to buy for this next bull run.
Right.
But then at the very end, it includes this disclaimer about how volatile crypto is.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What do you make of that? Well, it does seem a little contradictory,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, this article is trying to attract readers, generate excitement.
Right.
So, they're providing some interesting insights for sure.
Yeah.
But it's important to take any kind of investment advice with a grain of salt.
Right. Do your own research.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what does all this mean for someone like exploring this market
Right.
and trying to make informed decisions?
I think the key takeaway is to approach crypto with a balanced perspective.
Yep.
Don't get swept up in the hype,
Right.
but don't dismiss the potential either.
Okay.
Do your research,
Yeah.
understand the risks,
Mhm.
and invest responsibly.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, we covered a lot of ground. We explored some exciting coins.
We did.
Like JetBolt, Hedera, Chainlink, SUI.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the factors that could drive this next bull run, but also the risks.
Right.
But before we wrap up, I have one final kind of thought-provoking question for you.
Okay, hit me.
We talked a lot about this zero gas technology
Right.
and how it could really revolutionize the crypto landscape.
Absolutely.
And JetBolt is obviously leading the charge there.
Right.
But do you think we'll see other cryptocurrencies adopting this in the future? Or is it like something unique to JetBolt? That's a great question. I mean, zero gas technology is incredibly disruptive.
Yeah.
And it really addresses a major obstacle for mainstream adoption,
Right.
those pesky transaction fees.
Right.
So if JetBolt can prove that their model is sustainable, that it can scale,
Yeah.
I think we'll absolutely see other projects trying to do the same thing.
Okay, so it could be a pivotal moment for the entire industry.
It really could.
Imagine, like, sending crypto as easy and cheap as sending an email.
That's the dream.
Right. Right. But of course, with any new technology, there are bound to be challenges.
Absolutely.
What are some of the hurdles that JetBolt or any other project implementing this might face?
Well, the biggest one is security
Okay.
and decentralization.
Right. Those are key.
Yeah, because, traditionally those transaction fees, they incentivize miners to secure the network.
Right. Right.
So without those fees, you need to find another way to make sure that that blockchain remains secure,
Right.
tamper-proof.
So how does JetBolt address that?
Well, they claim to have solved this with something called scale technology.
Okay.
But, the effectiveness of that, especially as the network grows, that remains to be seen.
Right.
And then there's the question of scalability.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
Can a zero-gas blockchain actually handle a ton of transactions
Right.
without compromising speed or stability? That's a big one.
It sounds like there's a lot of potential, but also a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, exactly. It's a delicate balancing act
Right.
between innovation, security, and scalability.
Well, it'll be fascinating to see how this all plays out.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if they can usher in this new era of zero-gas crypto.
Yeah. Now, earlier, we briefly touched on JetBolt's use of AI for that Web3 content aggregation thing.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it's worth exploring that a little bit further.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, the whole integration of AI into the crypto space?
Well, is it just a gimmick?
Right.
Or is there real potential there?
Oh, it's definitely more than just a gimmick. The potential is huge. I mean, we're already seeing AI being used for things like fraud detection,
Okay.
market analysis,
Interesting.
even creating new trading strategies.
Yeah.
And JetBolt's content aggregation feature, that's just one example.
Okay.
It's like having a personalized crypto assistant,
Oh, wow.
helping you make sense of all this information.
Yeah, because it can be a lot to keep up with,
You'd be very overwhelming.
especially for someone new to crypto.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, what advice would you give to someone who's like completely new to this
Right.
and wants to, dip their toes into this exciting but maybe a little intimidating world?
Yeah. I would say, first and foremost, start with education.
Okay.
Take some time to actually learn about blockchain topology,
Right.
different types of cryptocurrencies,
Right.
and very importantly, the risks involved.
The risks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are so many resources out there. Educational websites, articles, YouTube channels,
Okay.
even podcasts like this one.
We do our best to break it all down.
Exactly. So once you have a basic understanding,
Yeah.
start small. Don't invest more than you could afford to lose.
Right. Right.
And diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
It's about taking a measured approach.
Exactly. Don't let the hype dictate your decisions.
Right. Any other advice for those starting their crypto journey?
Yeah, make sure you choose a reputable exchange.
Okay. So where you actually buy and sell.
Yeah, one with strong security measures, a user-friendly interface.
Right.
And remember, this is a long game.
Okay.
Don't expect to get rich quick.
Right.
Be patient, stay informed, and don't let fear or greed drive your decisions.
Those are wise words.
Thank you.
Not just for crypto, but for life in general.
Exactly.
Okay, so we really unpacked this topic pretty thoroughly.
We did.
Explored some promising cryptos, dove into this zero gas technology, talked about the role of AI.
Mm-hmm.
What stands out to you the most from our discussion?
Honestly, for me, it's the sheer pace of innovation in this space.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Every day there are new projects, technologies, ideas,
Right.
and it's all pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
It's exciting, challenging. It's definitely not for the faint of heart,
Right.
but for those who are willing to, really dive in and learn.
Yeah.
The potential rewards are enormous. What about you? What are your thoughts?
For me, it's the potential impact this technology could have, on people's lives,
Yeah.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype of, bull runs and this new tech.
Right.
But crypto, at its core, it's about empowering individuals.
That's a really good point.
Right. It's about giving you more control over your finances, creating new opportunities, and building a more decentralized and inclusive financial system.
Absolutely. It's easy to lose sight of that bigger picture,
Yeah.
when you're caught up in the technical details and the market fluctuations.
Right.
But ultimately, it's about people.
It is. It really is. So as you continue exploring the world of crypto, I think it's important to keep that human element in mind.
I agree.
think about the problems this technology could solve, the future it could help build.
Right.
And then, use that to guide your decisions.
Absolutely. Choose projects that align with your vision for the future.
Exactly.
I completely agree. The crypto world is constantly evolving,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty thrilling ride to be a part of.
It is. And it's not just about potential financial gains.
Right.
It's about being part of this technological revolution
Absolutely.
that's reshaping how we think about money, finance, even the internet itself.
Well said.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today. I hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights into the crypto landscape, some potential investment opportunities for 2025.
Absolutely.
Huge thank you to you for joining us on this journey into the heart of the crypto world.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, knowledge is power, especially in a market like this. Keep exploring, stay curious, and as always, invest responsibly.
Until next time.
And happy investing.
Keep diving deep. Oh, yeah, for sure. There are a couple more.
Okay.
Regulatory developments are another big one.
Oh, okay. So, what governments are doing around the world?
Exactly. When you have clear and favorable regulations,
Yeah.
that creates a more stable environment for crypto.
Okay, that makes sense. More stability, good for investors.
Right, exactly. It attracts more investors, encourages growth, all that good stuff.
But, it feels like governments are still kind of figuring out how to even approach crypto, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's still a bit of a Wild West out there.
It really is. So more clarity there would definitely be a good thing.
Right, exactly. And as more countries establish, clear regulatory frameworks, I think that could lead to way more mainstream adoption.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then that could fuel the next bull run, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we got institutional adoption, we've got positive regulations. Anything else we should be watching?
Oh, always keep an eye on technological advancements.
Yeah. Okay. Like what specifically?
Well, things like layer 2 scaling solutions, interoperability protocols, that sort of thing, those are constantly evolving,
Right.
making blockchain technology more functional, usable, easier for you to, use,
Yeah.
faster transactions, lower fees, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and that all ultimately could impact my potential returns, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. But like you said, this market can be unpredictable.
Very much so.
What are some of the risks that could actually derail a bull run?
Okay, well, we talked about regulatory uncertainty, but then there are also macroeconomic factors. You got to factor those in.
Okay. So things like
Inflation,
oh, right.
interest rates, if those start going up,
Yeah.
just general global economic instability, that can really throw a wrench in things.
It's a good reminder that crypto doesn't exist in a vacuum.
It really doesn't. It's all interconnected,
Right. Whatever's happening in the world is going to have an impact here.
For sure.
What else? What other potential roadblocks do we need to think about?
Well, there's always the chance of another crypto winter.
Another crypto winter. What's that?
That's a prolonged period of price decline.
Oh.
So, things might be looking up now. There are some signs that we've talked about pointing towards a bull run.
Right.
But the market is cyclical. It goes up, it goes down.
Okay, yeah.
Those corrections, they're going to happen.
That's good to keep in mind. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Not always, no. So, it's great to be optimistic, but also got to be realistic about these things.
Absolutely. So, this article, it's interesting. It lists these 10 cryptos that are good to buy for the next bull run.
Right.
But then at the very end, they include this disclaimer about how volatile crypto is.
Yeah, I saw that.
It seems a little contradictory.
Yeah, a little bit. I think what they're trying to do is attract readers, generate excitement.
Yeah.
So they're giving some insights, which is great.
Right.
But always a good idea to, do your own research. Don't just take their word for it.
Exactly. Okay, so what does all this mean for, the average person who is exploring the crypto market?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what to do, how to make good decisions.
I think the key takeaway here is just to approach it all with a balanced perspective.
Okay.
Don't get too caught up in the hype.
Right.
But also, don't dismiss the potential.
Right.
So do your research, understand the risks, and invest responsibly.
Words of wisdom. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. We explored some pretty exciting coins.
Yeah.
JetBolt, Hedera, Chainlink, SUI.
Yeah.
Talked about what could drive the next bull run and also what could stand in its way.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap up, I have one final thought-provoking question for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
We talked a lot about that zero gas technology, how it could really revolutionize things.
Yeah.
JetBolt's obviously leading the charge there.
Right.
But do you think, like, other cryptocurrencies will start adopting this in the future?
That's a great question. I mean, zero gas technology it's really disruptive.
Yeah.
It addresses this huge obstacle to mainstream adoption,
Right.
those transaction fees.
Right.
I think if JetBolt can prove that their model works, that it can scale,
Yeah.
you're going to see a lot of other projects try to do the same thing.
Okay. So this could be like a real pivotal moment for the whole crypto industry.
It really could.
Imagine sending crypto as easy, as cheap as sending an email.
Right.
It's pretty incredible.
It is. But like any new technology, they're going to be challenging.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
So what are some of the hurdles that like JetBolt or any other project implementing zero gas might face?
Well, I think security is the biggest one.
Okay.
Because, traditionally those transaction fees, they incentivize the miners to secure the network.
Right, right.
So without those fees, they've got to find another way to make sure the blockchain stays secure,
Right.
that it's tamper-proof.
So how do they address that?
Well, JetBolt claims they've got it figured out. They've got this scale technology, they call it.
Okay.
But, will it actually be effective, especially as the network grows? We'll have to wait and see.
Right.
And then there's the issue of scalability.
Right. We touched on that earlier.
Can a zero-gas blockchain handle a ton of transactions without, slowing down,
Right.
without becoming unstable?
Yeah. That's a lot to figure out.
It is. It's this balance between innovation, security, and scalability.
It's going to be fascinating to watch this all play out.
It really is, to see if they can really usher in this new era of zero-gas crypto.
Yeah, and earlier we were talking about JetBolt and they use AI, right?
Yeah.
For this Web3 content aggregation feature.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. I wanted to dive into that a bit more.
Sure, yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on, like, AI being integrated into crypto? Is that just a gimmick? Or is there something really there?
No, it's definitely more than a gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
AI has huge potential in this space.
Okay.
We already see it being used for things like fraud detection,
Okay.
market analysis, even creating new trading strategies.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And this content aggregation feature, that's just one example.
Right.
It's like having a personal crypto assistant,
Oh, that's cool.
helping you make sense of all the information that's out there.
Yeah, because it can be a lot.
It really can be overwhelming, especially for someone who's new to crypto.
Exactly. And speaking of that, what advice would you give to someone who is brand new,
Right.
who wants to, maybe dip their toes in the water here?
First and foremost, start with education. Take some time to learn about the technology,
Okay. Yeah.
the different types of cryptocurrencies, and, the risks that are involved.
Yeah, the risks are important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Luckily, there's so many resources available.
Right.
Educational websites, articles,
Yeah.
YouTube videos, even podcasts like this one.
We try our best.
And once you have a basic understanding, start small.
Okay.
Don't invest more than you can afford to lose.
Right.
Diversify your portfolio. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Solid advice.
Thank you.
Any other tips for those starting out?
Yeah, make sure you're choosing a reputable exchange.
So that's where you're buying and selling.
Exactly. You want one with strong security, user-friendly interface.
Okay.
And remember, this is a long game.
All right.
Don't expect to get rich quick. Be patient, stay informed, and don't let fear or greed make your decisions for you.
Yeah. Those are wise words to live by in general.
I think so.
Well, we covered a lot of ground today. We explored some promising cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, definitely.
Dove into this zero gas technology thing, talked about AI and what that could mean.
It's an exciting space.
It is. It really is. So what stands out to you most from our discussion?
Honestly, it's just the sheer pace of innovation. It's incredible. There are new projects, technologies, and ideas like every day. It's really pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's challenging. Definitely not for the faint of heart, but for those who are willing to dive in and learn.
Yeah.
The potential is, it's enormous.
It's pretty incredible. What about you? For me, it's the potential impact that this could all have.
Oh, yeah.
Like people's lives around the world. It's easy to get so caught up in all the hype of bull runs, this new technology, all that.
Right.
But crypto, at its core, it's about empowering people.
I agree.
It's about, giving them more control over their finances,
Yeah.
creating opportunities, building a system that's more decentralized, more inclusive.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's easy to lose sight of that. When you're in the weeds, looking at all the technical details, the market fluctuations, all that.
No.
But ultimately, it's about people.
It really is. So I think as you're exploring this world, it's so important to keep that in mind.
I think so, too.
Think about the problems that this technology could solve. Think about the future it could build.
Mm-hmm.
And use that to guide your decisions.
Choose projects that align with your vision.
Exactly.
It's an exciting space, constantly evolving.
Yeah.
It's a thrilling ride, that's for sure.
It is. And it's not just about, potential financial gains.
No, absolutely not.
It's about being a part of this technological revolution.
Yeah, it's reshaping how we think about money, about finance, about the internet itself.
That's powerful stuff.
It is.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. I hope this has been helpful for everyone.
Yeah, me too.
Giving you some insights into the crypto landscape, maybe some ideas for potential investments for next year.
Right. Always good to be thinking ahead.
Exactly. And a huge thank you to you, of course, for joining me on this journey into the heart of the crypto world.
It's been a pleasure.
As always, everyone, knowledge is power.
Oh, yeah, especially in a market like this.
So keep exploring, stay curious, and invest responsibly.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And happy investing. It's really incredible to think about, all this potential. It's easy to get caught up in the hype of, the next bull run and all these new technologies and stuff.
Right.
But I think, crypto at its core, it's really about empowering people.
Yeah, I agree.
It's giving people more control over their finances, creating new opportunities, building a system that's more fair.
Absolutely. It's easy to lose sight of that bigger picture when you're down in the weeds looking at all the technical stuff and, the market's going up and down every day.
Right, exactly.
But at the end of the day, it really is about people.
It really is. So I think as you're exploring this world, it's important to keep that human element in mind.
I agree.
Think about the problems this technology could solve, the future it could help us build. And use that to help guide your decisions.
Absolutely. Yeah. Choose projects that align with the future that you want to see.
Exactly.
That's an exciting space to be in,
Yeah.
Constantly evolving. It's a thrilling ride.
It is. It really is. And it's not just about potential financial gains.
No, not at all.
It's about being a part of something much bigger, a technological revolution that's, changing the way we think about money, finance, even the internet itself.
Well said. I couldn't agree more.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Hopefully this deep dive has given everyone listening some valuable insights.
Yeah, I hope so.
Into the crypto landscape, maybe some ideas for potential investments in 2025.
Definitely worth exploring.
Exactly. And a huge thank you to you, of course, for joining us on this journey into the heart of the crypto world.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, everyone listening, knowledge is power. Keep exploring, stay curious, and as always, invest responsibly.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And happy investing.